Hey there, gamers. Welcome back to Banished Souls Cryptic Gaming here. I hope you've been having a wonderful weekend. So, want to show you our Battle Barque build that we have. Now, this is a healer ship by nature, but it can be a wonderful warship and even a basic tank, man. Phenomenal. So, we now have this up to a level 4. Upgrading, it is expensive to upgrade. You need a lot of casting sand. Not going to lie to you. It takes a while. It's a grind. We're going to get up to a 6 later. Right now, we're pulling off to basically focus on getting our 8s and getting our empire set up, getting those books completed. So, without further ado, let's get into this build, folks. So, when it comes to the weapons, off of the bow, we are using the Lepicere 3. This is that La Peste cannon. It is phenomenal. You can get it whether it's through the pass or you can actually have it drop by defeating La Peste down there by the fort where he was at before, down there by... what's the name of that area, guys? The Dutchman's Camp. Yes, this is phenomenal. We're going to show you exactly how this works. Typically, what I do is I will shoot these Requiem torpedoes, which is a guidance type of a torpedo. It's going to track them if it's in range. And then I will turn around and pop them with that. That's going to drop their stamina, which is going to hurt their brace as well. And it's just going to do a lot of massive damage. So we have that on both the sides. Then our Lepicere on the bow. I love this weapon, man. It is really nice. It works really good in PvP. It drops your stamina. The next shot's going to drop their brace down to about half, which then you hit it with a torpedo. It's going to shatter the brace. It's going to do some major damage to them as well. So, of course, our fire bombards on the rear of this ship. I'm hoping that we can finally find a epic fire bombard in time, or maybe be able to find a way to upgrade these things. That would be amazing. I would love to see that happen where we can start to tweak those weapons a little bit. And of course, in our auxiliary, the Warhammer, I highly recommend that you get this from the black market. If it's anything going into Season 3 like it was coming into Season 2, it's probably not going to be available after this season. So definitely focus on getting those Warhammers. The Infernal Maul, that's a great mine launcher. Of course, you have Little Grace and the mine launcher too. Those work pretty nice. But Infernal Maul, fantastic. I don't really use it on this ship. I do use it on the new brig. Like I say, Warhammer. You don't even need to have that La Peste schematic. We're going to take that off. This thing is going to, if you come across the Pestilence ship, it's going to just wreak havoc on them and bring them down to about 50% health. They're going to be so messed up by the time you pop them with a couple of torpedoes. That Lepicere, man, you've got them. It's just, that's what's going to happen. It's done. It's over with. So, we are going to discuss some of the armor types as well. Now, I know there's a lot of options now that we've come into the new pass. Things from Stormwoven to Buccaneers Oath and all. So I am using the Stormwoven armor on this. The reason I use that is because there is a sonic pulse that goes out and it puts out 6,000 damage, guys. That's amazing. It ignores the brace, it ignores their armor, it just penetrates right into the ship. 6,000. You get enough guys going through there, it is going to do some serious damage. Now let's find this Buccaneer's Oath here. So this here is going to increase your weapons and your armor 25% for 30 seconds every time you sink a ship, which means that 30 second every time you sink a ship is going to reset. It does not stack to 25% damage. Unfortunately, that would have been awesome if it did, but hey, it's not a bad armor to use on the Sandbuck. Definitely recommend it for the Sandbuck. But for this ship, what we're using is this Stormwoven Symphony is what it's called. You can pick that up at the black market, guys. Phenomenal stuff. So it's going to have a holding brace is going to send out a sonic attack. You want to make sure it charges all the way up. It does 6,000 damage to the surrounding hostiles. It's an AOE, area of effect, if you're not familiar with that acronym. And any ships within that 125 meter is going to take 6,000 damage to their hull. It's nothing you can do about it. And if you got enough players hammering that thing out, especially running these big events that they have, you talk about wreaking some serious havoc very fast on these ships, man. Highly recommend it. So, furniture. Of course, it's dealer's choice on this. I use the scrapper station. Probably not needed on here, but I do like to have it because it's one of those things where sometimes you want those extra heals, and you need that extra heal, and you're waiting on a cooldown. Even on this Barque, you're going to run into that. So I run it. Then our tuning station, this is going to increase secondary damage to torpedoes by 17%, increase projectile speed by 10%, and it restores 5% of crew stamina per second while out of combat. So could be a great way to put some stuff on that brig. I've got one on the brig, seems to work pretty good. We showed a video build of that earlier. The campaigning screens, you get this from running the Hubach Twins bounty board missions. They will drop. It's a rare drop, but it does come out. I definitely recommend having it. It's going to increase your area of effect damage, or decrease the area of effect damage from the enemy by 15%, reduces incoming burning charge by 7%, and increases your max hold by 3%. Then, of course, the torpedo grinder, increasing projectile speed of torpedoes by 15%. The potent schematic, we're going to take this thing off, and we're going to go ahead and put another piece of furniture on, because we just don't need it anymore, because we are using that Warhammer, and it just decimates those pestilent ships. Now, the past heat is unfortunately one of those things where, you know, once we finally see him go, we're not going to be too sad to see that happen. I'm going to use this Fontana station. This is going to increase secondary damage of rockets by 12%, and increase the damage to structures by 12% as well. Does great jobs on forts and ships. Just really rocks them hard. Compared to the 10% on that Lapotent schematic, definitely better off using the Fontana station. Highly recommend it, folks. So I want to take this ship out and kind of show you what we got going on, as far as show you how this effect works with the shield. It's going to send out that sonic pulse, but I also want to show you the technique that I use shooting the torpedoes and dropping their stamina in their brace before the torpedoes hit. Just fantastic. Even if you don't have a good solid shot using that, the Picaray weapon, it's going to just decimate their stamina. The next shot's going to break their brace by 50%, and then you're going to be able to drop them down. It works phenomenal in PvP. Played around with it some last night. Unfortunately, was having a few internet issues thanks to Xbox Live. Yes, man, it is so frustrating sometimes when you get close to a weekend and that goes down. So we're going to ease up next to ship. We're just going to use this brace. So what you got to do is you will hold your bumper, your right bumper button, if you're on PlayStation and Xbox, and it's going to see this little charge effect coming around the ship here, and when you release it, boom, there you go, 6,000 damage right off the bat. Of course, pop a torpedo down. Works great on that and big groups of ships. It works fantastic. It's similar to a blaze effect off of the Sandbuck. Highly recommend it for this Barque, man. Phenomenal. So let's go see if we can find another ship. We're going to obviously head up north here because I want to find some larger ships. So what you want to do, you can shoot this now, but what I do is I'll get the torpedoes en route. That way, as soon as I drop their brace, we should be in range for an auto track. Okay, there we go. Then we're going to shoot this. This is going to drop their stamina. Then the next shot will drop the brace, and then it's going to take them on out with torpedo. And it works just like that when you're in PvP. Shoot the torpedo, hit them twice with that thing. Then you can switch back over and launch another set of torpedoes. It reloads really quickly using that Fontana station and all that kind of stuff, guys. And it just does massive damage. So let's see what we can find up north here. We're going to speed the video up right here to catch up. Okay, we see our target up ahead here. So I went ahead and hit him with the pest weapon automatically, man. That's obviously not a very good test here. So we're going to have to find a larger ship. There should be some as soon as we get around these mountains here. But typically, like I say, launch the torpedo first, then hit him with that and get that second torpedo in the water if you think it's going to be needed. So it looks like we have a campaigning ship over here. This looks like a broadsider, which is basically a brigantine. Let's see what we can do to this bad boy. So we want to make sure, let's just double check, make sure that is a brig. It looked like one to me. Okay. You know, I think instead we just showed you the technique with the torpedoes. I think what we're going to do is I'm going to show you what the sonic blast will do. Is going to break their brace to begin with. It ignores it, but it also destroys their brace. And then we're going to hit them with this Warhammer just to show one barrage would take them out. But I want to show you the shield as well. Just phenomenal fun. I've been really enjoying the new gear. Been loving building up new ships, getting these things upgraded. So we're bracing, which is building up that charge. And when the brace has depleted, it will release itself. Alright, so there we go. So pretty good damage there. Not too bad. Did that 6,000 hit. Then our Warhammer fired off. and he's done. And that's how it's done, folks. I hope you enjoyed the video. Would love to hear what your builds are. Comment in below. If you're looking for a great group of gamers to join in, man, hit us up. We're going to get you a Discord invite over there. When you come into Discord, make sure you verify, because we do have verification, which is just checking a box to show that you're a human, because we've ended up having some issues with a few bots in the past.